Hey there, YouTube. We're back here with a supercut of the first 5 parts of my Naruto, Hazbin Hotel, and Helluva Boss crossover, Helluva Night, for those who prefer listening to stories in a long stretch instead of segmented parts. For those who are first discovering this story, welcome. This is a world where Naruto ended up in the wrong afterlife and was judged and sent to hell for his sins. There isn't really a ship, although there are plenty of Naruto and Loona hints throughout. If you like this story, please like and comment for more. And if this style of story is something you are into, please think about subscribing as I tell plenty of other Naruto crossovers, specifically with Ruby, Genshin Impact, and Honkai Star Rail. Content warning: there are themes of non-explicit sexual content, violence, and plenty of foul language. Listener discretion is advised. Now, on to the story. Hell, I would be the first to admit that, given all I had done, when I died, I thought I would have been invited to the pure world. That was where all my family was. But no, it had to be my luck I found myself in another world's fucking afterlife. What the hell? Why do I have this curse? Unfortunately for me, I never had a chance to figure out how to arrive in the afterlife I belonged to. No, those assholes at the gates had to judge me instead, and their standards here were far more prudish. I was thrown into the void with no chance to return home. Funny thing was, I was treated well here in hell. Didn't matter who it was: demons, imps, hellhounds, succubi, sinners. It didn't matter. Soon as I arrived, he brought me in. He cared. He tried to help me return home. Wasn't successful, but still. He was still searching. After what felt like hundreds of years, long after I had given up, I accepted that I was stuck here in this other world's hell. I was okay with it. I had a new purpose anyway: to protect the denizens of hell, no matter how fucked up some of them might be. It was starting to become rather endearing. Occasionally, but most importantly of all, I would make the angels suffer every time they descended into hell. This was my home, and I would protect it with everything I had. They better damn believe that. What the? There ain't shit in this place, not a damn thing here of value. Shut up, you idiot. Let's take what we can and get out of here. 2 blue eyes fluttered open to stare into the demonic, lustful, crimson-hued eyes. Every fucking morning with this? Naruto rolled his eyes, unable to palm his muzzled face. And of all mornings, the day after the purge? You bitch. Good morning, handsome, the succubi seductively cooed, drawing her finger along his chest, trailing to his chin. Was it as good for you as it was for me? Or did you forget me? I never get that wasted, and I'm not that dumb. Even if I hadn't just laid down, I am keenly aware of who and what holes I fuck. And I don't put my dick in stupid, usually. Naruto scrunched his muzzle upwards and growled, noticing 2 imps looting his kitchen. The succubi glowered, sitting on top of Naruto. The 2 looting imps chuckle, causing her to shoot a nasty glare. Hey, limp dicks, hurry the fuck up! Naruto's gaze sharpened. Choosing his words carefully, he stared directly into the succubi's gaze. Let me make this perfectly clear to you and your friends. Since I'm very tired and want to get back to sleep, I'll be nice to you. You have 5 seconds to get the hell out of my apartment, or I'm gonna put my knife in each of you. Ooh, mommy likes. The succubi giggled, giddily grinding her hips on his unclothed body. Which hole do you want? You and your kinks, you stupid succubus skank. Whatever. The taller of the 2 imps groaned and palmed his face, stopping his momentary rifling through Naruto's possessions. Just keep him restrained long enough. The second short imp rolled his eyes, attempting to keep his associates on task, only to be interrupted by a long howl of pain and the succubus staggering toward them, bleeding profusely from a stab wound in her ribs. Fuck! The succubus screamed, glowering before a wicked smirk graced her delicate features. If I knew you wanted to create another hole to fuck? Okay, no. Naruto chopped the succubi's neck. Her body flopped onto the floor like a sack of spoiled potatoes. Huh, so that's how you shut her up? The imp blinked before contemplating the new information. Nah, that works on everyone. You might want to try shoving your dick in her mouth to shut her up. That trick usually shuts any lip up for most succubi. Naruto grinned before he wiped his combat knife clean on the taller imp's shirt. It took him a second to recognize what had happened. "Hey, you asshole! My outfit costs more money than your entire apartment," the tall imp hissed, ready to jump Naruto. "Probably," Naruto shrugged off the comment, glancing around his small, one-room apartment before shrugging again. "Not gonna complain. Rent's cheap. Good bed. Better than cheap brand shit you're wearing." "Oh, I'm going to enjoy putting another hole in you and then fuck it." The tall imp lunged toward an uncaring Naruto, only for him to stagger back, holding his face as blood poured from his broken nose. "Fuck! Huh? What happened?" Naruto feigned ignorance as he looked back at the taller imp. Glancing down at his elbow, he noticed a hint of blood splattered on his golden-tinted fur. "Gah, gross! You should be more careful. You walked into me." "The fuck I did?" the imp roared, lunging yet again, and falling flat on his face as Naruto casually tripped him. "You fucking cock!" The imp started only for his words to silence as Naruto stepped onto his back before planting his bare foot directly on the back of his skull. The imp didn't finish his statement. He understood his place. "It's been a hell of a night," Naruto blandly stated, the imp beneath his feet groaning as he ground his face into the floor. His attention, however, was focused entirely on the last member of the gang standing. "I don't like doing this shit. I just got done fucking those damn angel all night, and you guys come in and try to rob me?" The last imp standing was unable to find his words. He wanted to comment on what he said, but a raw, hellish intent pressed down upon him, drawing his gaze into Naruto's, and fear surged through his very being as Naruto's cerulean blue eyes shifted to a crimson tint. "It seems like I'm gonna have to teach you bastards the hard way. The slums of the dregs, whatever this place was called." He hadn't thought he would have had to set foot here. This was hell, and he, Lucifer Morningstar, found this apartment complex atrocious. Why did he live here? How did he live here? What demon alive would willingly live here? "I shouldn't be surprised," Lucifer sighed, a somber expression adorning his features as he gazed about the carnage. Somehow he didn't think the angels touched this place, probably because they knew what lurked within, didn't want to piss him off any further as he was slaughtering them. "Ah!" Lucifer stepped to the side, hearing glass shattering above. 3 bodies crashed to the cement below, and the glass rained down upon them, all battered, bruised, and bloodied, bones broken and skulls smashed. "Still alive!" Lucifer tapped the butt of his chain against each of them, checking on their conditions. They groaned, causing him to grin menacingly. "You all should consider yourself lucky. You walked into the maw of death and survived. He must have been merciful today." Naruto was grateful that caffeine was considered an addictive drug on this earth. He wasn't sure how he would get through some days without coffee. He barely drank the stuff back home. But in this place, oh, he needed it. He fucking needed it. Thankfully, the idiots hadn't looted his coffee machine. Bastards did try to loot the cup Charlie gave him. "Good morning," an alarmingly chipper voice announced their presence, and Lucifer Morningstar was standing at his doorway, admiring the bloodstains and the cracks of the door partially off its hinges. One of the few people who tried to make this place bearable. "Ah, morning, Lucy. Let me get dressed." Naruto waved while taking a sip, motioning over to the coffee pot. "Would you like a cup?" "Oh yes, that would be marvelous," Lucifer responded, proudly planting his cane onto the floor before whistling. "And take your time. Allow me to relish the view." "Still don't swing that way," Naruto retorted, opening the cupboard for his cups, only for the entire cupboard to fall over and crash onto his counter. Naruto only sighed, dragging his hand on his face. "Of course. Well, not to worry. I always have my own." Lucifer lifted his right hand, and with a flick of the wrist, a portal rifted open, depositing a pristine coffee cup into his left. And with a flick of his hand, he brought the coffee pot to him and poured himself a cup while his expression hardened. "Alas, as much as I would love to lounge and admire your glory, I'm here on business, old friend. But first, is your TV working? Might be easier to explain if you witness what I fear is about to happen." "Fuck me?" Naruto stared in a gasp at the musical he was witnessing on the television. He could only grimace before sighing. "I mean, I get it. I put that notion in her head, but it doesn't work here. I tried. Despite the futile nature of her endeavor, you must admit it is quite a noble goal. Lucifer nodded in agreement while taking a sip of his coffee. Nodding as well, Naruto chugged his cup of coffee. With an intense stare, he locked eyes with the ruler of hell. Guess that's why you're here. I put those ideas in her head with my stories. It should be me to stand at her side. No. Huh? Naruto jerked his head and queerly lifted an eyebrow. Wait. You're telling me you came out all this way just to tell me what Charlie is doing and not expect me to do something about it? Well, that would just be stupid now, wouldn't it? Lucifer laughed and shook her head. With a flick of his wrists, a business card flipped into his fingertips, and he presented it to Naruto. I'm here to recommend you for a job that happens to be near the hotel. Charlie's more than capable and can look out for herself. However, I would appreciate a pair of eyes watching her from a distance, my old friend. Consider this one last job. For I am close to cracking the code in the ancient texts. I may get you home yet. This place was somehow shittier than his apartment complex. That was impressive. He was thankful he didn't need to find a parking spot around here. It would have been hellish to find one. That is my spot. It's the only spot we have to park. Get your ass out of it. Naruto gnarled his teeth and growled, his ears curling onto his head. Who was causing such an obnoxious ruckus? Don't see your name on it. Naruto's search quickly came to an end, and his gaze locked onto a group of individuals. Well, 2 individuals were seemingly the cause of the noise, while another 3 paced past them and inside the building. It's right fucking there, you pile of Grangerness shit. A rather tall imp motioned both of his hands toward the parking spot, in particular, toward the writing that happened to be crossed out. The name read Blitzo, the person he was supposed to try to get an interview from. I don't see anything, shrimp. A tall and buff sinner brushed the imp off. Go find another spot. I've got business to deal with. Excuse me, Naruto interjected, pointing toward the sinner's luxurious car. That junk yours? Who the hell do you think you are? Huh, aren't you? The sinner snarled, turning toward Naruto. His eyes began to widen as recognition set in. Naruto grinned. He didn't know who the hell this was, but they knew who he was. Good. Oh, nothing in particular. Just trying to help my boss park his rig. Naruto whistled, holding up his right hand to show he was spinning a metallic ring of some sort on his finger. And on closer inspection, the 2 demons knew what it was. The pin of a grenade. An explosion roared, sending shrapnel from the sinner's car flying around them. But the sinner was captivated by Naruto's eyes as they flickered red. Now, if you wouldn't mind moving your junker from my boss's spot, I've got business to discuss with him. Anywhere but here. This day started off so annoying. Why did they have to be here so early? Ugh. Fucking Satan, Loona growled, clasping her temple as she slumped into her reception chair, still woozy from last night, her stomach twisting into knots within, pushing a horrid bile up her esophagus. Oomph! Loona helped a hand over her muzzled mouth. Her crazed eyes shifted all around, searching for something, anything. Blitzo's plant. No, she wasn't that upset with her adoptive father. He only invaded her privacy slightly this morning. The bathroom was too far away, and she didn't want to barge in on Millie as she finished her business. Waste bin? Maybe. Mox would have to clean it later. That would be hilarious. Her eyes sharpened onto a single object, a bottle of water, or whatever the hell Moxxie drank that he set on her desk. Loona's lips curled into a twisted smile despite holding her vomit back. Perfect. Swiftly swiping a bottle off her desk, uncorking it, and pouring all the liquid into the potted plant beside her desk, Loona barfed into it. Screwing the lid back on, she slid it across her desk toward a disgusted Moxxie. Really? Fuck off! Loona bared her teeth and growled at Mox in a dominant display. With a huff, she scowled and proceeded to ignore him further as she reached into the desk and pulled out a file and a magazine. She didn't like it, but her claws were getting dull, needed to be sharper. Whatever, Moxxie rolled his eyes, taking his bottle and exhaling as his wife exited the bathroom. Gonna have to clean it again. At least she replaced it with Blitzo's piss, sugar. Millie failed to cheer Moxxie up. How is that better? Moxxie loudly exclaimed, before his head flinched back. Wait, how do you know that was filled with his piss? "'Cause he filled it when you put in the gas," Millie bubbly chirped, much to Moxxie's chagrin. "And you didn't do anything?" Moxxie stated, flabbergasted with his arms held out. "Shut your mouths, bitches." The door to their office slammed open, likely leaving a crack or indent in the wall as Blitzo dramatically entered. "I've got some news. First off, we got ourselves a new hire." "Sir?" Moxxie palmed his face. He dragged his hand, repressing his sigh while giving an exacerbated glare at his boss. "And where did we obtain the funds for a new hire? We just spent everything we had on that stupid jingle and ad." "Oh, already coming for my jingle to tell me it's crap? What's next? Gonna deny my dream of making a musical just like my dad, huh?" Blitzo accused Moxxie, holding his finger in his face. No sir, Mox stumbled over his words. "I thought it was pretty good." Millie beamed. "Thank you, Millie. That's my girl." Blitzo patted Millie on the head. "Millie, we talked about this. Don't agree with him when we're arguing." Moxxie attempted to admonish his wife reasonably. "As for the money, I still got some left over after Loona and I got wasted last night." Blitzo pulled out a wad of cash from his suit and waved it in front of Moxxie. "Some dumbass left a package full of cash in my mailbox with a letter. I just chucked that bitch away and celebrated like there was no tomorrow. The letter said to hire someone coming here today." Loona tilted her head, shifting her figure, laying her feet on her desk as she sharpened her nails. "You read that shit?" Blitzo rolled his eyes before rolling his eyes. "Well, fuck the guy they wanted to hire. We got a professional. Just made that trash who parked in our space grovel on his knees and suck his own dick." "No!" Naruto's voice drolled from the door leading to the staff break room. "You made him do that. I decided to check what was left over in the fridge. Whoever's beef bowl was in there, it went well with my ramen." "You piece of shit! That was mine!" Loona roared, deftly jumping from his position, intent on ripping apart the Joker who dared steal from her. Oh, she would make him suffer before ripping out his throw. Loona stopped dead in her tracks. Her heart thunderously thumped in his chest while her eyes darted back and forth, observing every last detail of the hellish being before her. Matted and ruffled golden fur underneath a tattered fishnet shirt that hid nothing of his glorious chest and abs. Torn and rugged orange jeans that showed just how rigorous his journey must have been. 2 pronounced fox ears lifted over the locks of spiky blonde fur on his head. He had a strong muzzle and razor-sharp teeth that could shred the toughest steak to mince meat, and piercing cerulean eyes, with a crimson hue beneath. She was standing before a hunk of a hellfox. Loona's murderous rage instantly dissolved as she nervously swayed, barely able to vocalize her words. Sorry about that. I hadn't eaten in days and was starving. Needed a good topping to put on the fuck-ass cheap ramen served here." Naruto picked a chunk of beef from his canines before swallowing it, barely, acting like she existed, before her heart stopped beating altogether as his gaze swept over her, absorbing her appearance. And then he toothily smiled. "So perhaps we should grab a beer after work. Get to know each other better." Naruto casually grinned. However, all Loona heard was something similar to, "That enough of that crap here? No flirting at work." Blitzo slunk from underneath and separated the two, Blitzo's gaze locking onto Naruto's. Naruto couldn't hide the sinister grin. Oh, he knew that look well. It was a father attempting to keep his daughter safe, and so he would honor that bond. For now, there was no telling what he would do if she came on to him. An unconfident voice redirected Naruto's attention toward Moxxie as he gathered his courage. "And you may be..." Right. Forgot about that. Name's Naruto Uzumaki. Nice to be working with you." Naruto grinned widely, only for his gaze to slit upon seeing Moxxie's eyes widen. Brat knew who he was. That made things interesting. "Is that a problem?" Naruto snarled, baring his teeth toward Moxxie. "No, not a problem." Moxxie jumped, fear setting in. Still, he impressed Naruto by finding the courage to continue to speak. "It's just, well, weird seeing you lower yourself to a job such as this." "Huh? What's that mean, hun?" Millie frowned, glancing toward Naruto with confusion. Well, you see... Ah, sir. Moxxie nervously prattled before suddenly being sprayed several times by a squirt bottle labeled piss. Yeah, I already know. Stop embarrassing me and get over it. Who fucking cares who he is? Blitzo tossed the bottle haphazardly behind him, arms on his hip, while Naruto stepped to the side to avoid being hit by it. So what if he's a big shot? Big fucking deal. He's willing to work for pennies on the dollar, and I'm not passing that kind of free labor. Naruto blinked before tilting his head. However, a crazed grin crossed his muzzle, and he laughed. All right then. No need to hide then. Allow me to truly introduce myself. I am Uzumaki Naruto, Knight of the Morning Star. But know me by as the embodiment of death. This group was... interesting. There wasn't a better word to describe them. Maybe a bunch of idiots? No, that was a disservice to their intelligence. It was more like they didn't care and just wanted to have a good time. Except Moxxie. He seemed to be trying to moderate their actions and make sensible decisions. Those didn't work in hell. Regardless, he genuinely cared about the others and this job. And that was a rare attribute to find in hell, 'tis universe. Everyone was a bad apple. Fuck. If he had a nickel for every genuinely good person, Naruto would have several more than he would like to admit. There were very few that had a good heart. It was why he gravitated to Lucy and Charlie. They were the closest thing to decent people, and it was as if he was looking into a mirror of them. Both Mox and Millie had that same kindred spirit, except she was a bit airheaded. It wasn't the worst thing. She seemed ever the optimist with that bubbly energy, but she seemed a little too excited about murdering and killing humans. And all the questions she was asking him about his sprees. Naruto exhaled. This world had changed him. At one time, he would use his words to change those around him. Not here. It hardly worked. And when he did think it worked, he backstabbed immediately. He shook his head. Naruto couldn't drop his guard again. Not again. His vision shifted to the boss. Blitzo was saying something, but it was all white noise for Naruto. He was just arguing with Mox about their ad. Naruto was more than aware of Blitzo's identity. Still, something about the way he acted intrigued him. He had seen more than enough articles about him to know he was self-serving, foul-mouthed asshole who didn't care who he fucked over to make a buck. And yet, Naruto had already seen something out of him that he didn't expect. Genuine concern. And it wasn't just with his interjection between him and Loona. Despite this vain, bizarre, and insane meeting he was holding to appease his own ego, there was playful banter between him and his subordinates. Naruto didn't sense a truly negative emotion from any of them. Besides Loona. Oh, the negative aura was strong with her. With her brooding and nonchalant attitude, she could have given a young Sasuke a run for his money. She was the embodiment of an angsty teenager attempting to rebel against her father, acting aloof and uncaring outside of what little interested her. Naruto saw those stray eyes occasionally shifting toward him. Loona was going to make this a chore. That could become an issue. He wanted to be on Blitzo's better side. He had a feeling he was going to have to find or hire a stud to get her attention from him. Maybe act like he had a girlfriend? Was B available? Wait, didn't she have a new stud boyfriend? And you just sit there and stare at everyone. Why don't you do something? Eh? Naruto blinked, sensing the attention of everyone in the room shift to him, and his eyes were drawn to a child pointing toward him. The fuck? How long has that kid been there? Ah, I knew I was forgetting something. Blitzo snapped his fingers and laughed. His expression shifted to annoyance as his phone rang and he answered it. Fuck me. Guess I'll take the brat back. Never fucking mind. The kid's got a contract on him. Seriously? Moxxie's jaw slacked. Likely stunned, someone would want a child dead. Oh, sweet child. Not all that uncommon. How much? Naruto swiped Blitzo's phone. He was more than keenly aware that the imp would accept any price. His lips gnarled as a gruff voice told him the low price on the other end. Nah, triple that shit. We ain't killing a kid for that measly lump sum. Naruto hissed at the indignant grumble on the other end, declining his offer. His features shifted demonically as an astral golden aura shimmered over his face. Naruto's crimson gaze peered through the line and into the demon's soul to convey his message. "Bitch, I eat people!" The voice screamed and begged for their life. Naruto's features shifted as he haphazardly tossed the phone back to Blitzo. "The offer has been decupled." "Oh, fuck yeah!" Blitzo smashed his phone in his grip. His eyes shone as he withdrew his old-fashioned pistol, and his teeth were displayed with his grin. "I can tell this is going to be a fucking great business venture." With muzzle flash and gunshot, Blitzo's laughter ran through the entire offer. "Drinks are on me tonight. Now, let's get the fuck out of here." "So how'd it go?" "You get the job?" Naruto exhaled, observing his co-workers getting smashed at the bar. Well, except Moxxie, who was trying to watch and observe him discreetly. Easy enough, Naruto kept tipping his phone away as he took a deep drink of this pub's house special, pungent and potent. "Good." "Wonderful." Lucifer's voice resonated from the other end. "Now I don't expect Charlie to get into too much trouble, so try to enjoy yourself. And if anyone oversteps their bounds, well, let them know how we feel about that." Naruto repressed a growl. "Anyone who dared to lift a finger toward Charlie, blood will rain from the sky. Now, calm yourself, my friend. No need to get violent yet." Lucifer chuckled from the other end. "Well, I'll leave you to it." Yeah, I'll hold down this end." Naruto shook his head and took another swig. His eyes sharpened a peculiar sound that squeaked on the end. "Lucy, it's not what you think." Lucifer nervously laughed while attempting to pacify the beast. Naruto simply growled before rolling his eyes. "Just don't get too engrossed in your work." End the call and pocketing his phone, Naruto shook his head and repressed his laughter. Lucy and his obsession with rubber ducks. "Oh, that's it." The bar erupted into chaos, and gunfire riddled the bar. Naruto casually took another drink and watched the chaos unfold. Moxxie was smart and jumped over the bar to hide behind it after Blitzo sparked the fight. A sinner started it from what it looked like, attempted to hit on Loona. She had no interest, and he boldly continued. Bad choice. And now that same sinner was ragged-dolled into Loona's maw, violently being torn apart while Blitzo repeatedly blasted his goons, and Millie cut them down with a massive axe, considering her size. "Everyone here is insane." Naruto rolled his eyes, watching the scene before the bar entrance as it was smashed open. Hordes of guards flooded in to protect the sinner. Probably some new hotshot he wasn't aware of. Naruto released an exacerbated sigh. Taking one last drink, Naruto reached into a portal and withdrew a kunai with one hand and a pump-action, combat shotgun in the other before leaping into the fray. "Can't say this won't be entertaining." Naruto laughed, slicing through several demons before aiming and blasting another's head clean off his shoulders. Standing back to back with Blitzo as they were surrounded, Naruto grinned. "Ha! You sure know how to throw a party." "Ah, just a typical fucking Tuesday. You should see how Fridays usually go." Blitzo laughed, barely acknowledging they were surrounded. Naruto smirked. Oh, Lucy was right. This job was gonna be fun. "I take the 10 on the left, you take the 10 on the right?" "Fuck you, I'll kill 11, Blitzo boldly announced. "Oh, it's a challenge." Naruto's eyes bled red. "I accept. Let's go wild." Ugh. The morning after never felt great. Her head throbbed. Her stomach was twisted in knots. She felt like she needed to vomit, and nothing she could ruin Moxxie's day with. Only her own. Damn it, she had strange bruises and cuts. And worst of all, her fur was bloodied and matted, and her clothes were tattered, more than usual. Loona groaned, blinking several times before cursing. "Fuck this shit. It's too bright. Ain't that the fucking truth?" Loona froze in place upon hearing Blitzo's voice. She blinked yet again. Was this not her room? Patting the cushion she was on, Loona growled and glared at the stumbling Blitzo. "You left me on the couch?" "Pfft, like hell I would. He brought you back for me and dumped you on the couch before curling into a cute ball and passing out." Blitzo jabbed his thumb to the corner of their living room. Loona's heart thumped. Did he mean he was here now? Following where Blitzo pointed, Loona frowned, noticing a vacant corner. Who are you talking about?" "Huh? What the fuck? Where did he go?" Blitzo rapidly swirled around, swiveling his head wildly. He was just here. How did he vanish like that while he was drunk as a mule? Fuck! Loona hung her head. She kind of wanted to see him curled up. Clutching her mouth, Loona leapt from the couch and bolted into the bathroom, spinning Blitzo like a top in the process. Fuck me! I don't need that right now! Blitzo grimaced, listening to his daughters retching in the bathroom with disgust. Oh, come on! You're cleaning that up once you're finished. Fuck you! Loona groaned while draped over the toilet. Oh, cry about it! Blitzo rolled his eyes and turned away from the bathroom. Get your ass in gear, would ya? We've got a job today. Something about some bimbo who got cheated on and wanting to kill the bitch who fucked her husband. So she repurchased this place and restored it, huh? Wasn't this called the Happy Hotel last I checked? Naruto whistled, seemingly impressed at the job Charlie had done. Naruto exhaled and chuckled, overlooking the hotel from the top of a nearby building. Doing good, girl. Naruto's eyes scanned the hotel. Something felt off. There was a malevolent presence, more malevolent than what Naruto anticipated. Scowling, unable to put a face to the sensation, Naruto growled. His eyes sharpened and continued to scan the hotel, searching for where it came from. And he found him. Who the hell are you? Naruto muttered, his gaze shifting behind him. My name is Alastor, host of the Hazbin Hotel, good sir. A sinner wearing an emblazoned red suit and the most unnerving broad smile he had encountered, made all the more unsettling by the golden sheen. Now may I ask a question, if you will allow? Why has the embodiment of death been observing my hotel? Everything was so bright, so blissful, serene. An angelic choir and demonic chorus sang on a stage behind her. Angels and demons, sharing a space without violence. It was wonderful. And in her arms as they swayed to the music, rhythmically dancing was who she cherished most, happier than she had seen her in centuries. Alas, this was but a dream. She knew that. But perhaps she could enjoy it a little longer. Enjoy her embrace for just an extra second. Even as the world around them went up in flames, she just wanted the moment to last as she stared into her blazing gold and burning crimson gaze. I love you, she whispered, shyly tilting her head away. Only for the love of her life to gently caress her chin with a single finger before they made eye contact. She trembled as her lips moved, expecting to hear the exact same words. Vaggie! And her dream collapsed in a pit of despair, engulfed in flames. Typical. Vaggie! It's you! No wonder my dream turned into a hellscape. Vaggie groaned, her eyes fluttering as she lifted her head slightly, staring directly into his cerulean hues. What do you want, Naruto? Thankfully, he was better than most other demons when invading her privacy. He was at least perched on the foot of her bed like a particular comic book hero. The hell is the radio demon doing here? Naruto squinted, a low growl reverberating in his tone. Why are you asking me? Vaggie shrugged and rolled her eyes, exasperated, before glaring at Naruto. I know you already confronted him, so why are you bothering me here? Let me rephrase the question. Naruto's left eye twitched, repressing his growl and taking a breath. His eyes sharpened and the air stilled as his intimidating gaze pierced hers. Why have you allowed someone like him anywhere near Charlie? Because he offered to help when no one else would. Vaggie exhaled, defeated as she sat up, shuffling in bed so her feet were dangling off the side. Look, I don't feel great about his presence here either. All he wants is to be here when it inevitably all falls apart to soak in the moment. And as much as I hate it, we need someone like him here to handle the trash. He told me as much. What do you mean handle the trash? Naruto began, before his gaze furiously sharpened and he snarled. Oh, ah. Vaggie's head snapped up and she nervously stumbled over her words and struggling to find them with his intense gaze. You see, an incident happened with Serpentius. Naruto's snarl increased in volume before abruptly ending, drawing out a notepad and pen, scribbling furiously. Alastor handled it. Vaggie alarmingly jumped to her feet and attempted to defuse the situation. There's no need to do anything drastic. He won't be bothering us for quite some time. When I'm done with him, he'll never bother you again, Naruto growled with righteous fury, polishing his shotgun that he suddenly withdrew from his pocket dimension. Killing him is unnecessary. That goes against everything Charlie stands for. Vaggie yelled, sternly putting her foot down, her features faltering as she sullenly looked at him. What you used to stand for? Naruto exhaled, his expression worn and weathered. Checking to ensure his shotgun was in working condition, he slid it back through the portal and met Vaggie's gaze. I'm not going to kill him if that's what you are worried about. Vaggie sighed in relief. Anytime she saw him draw his divine weaponry, the next time I see him, I'm gonna make him wish he was redeemed when I'm done with him. Releasing an exacerbated wail of despair, Vaggie slumped over, defeated. At least he was leaving the chance of redemption. Are you heading out? Vaggie glanced up, noticing a draft in the room. She flinched, noticing Naruto had left his perch and had almost made it to her window. You know, you should see Charlie before you leave. She misses you. Naruto paused at the windowsill. He turned his head back and gazed deeply into Vaggie's eyes. He leapt from the window without another word. Vaggie hung her head as she moved to close the window, but a swift breeze almost knocked her down. She cursed and shut the window close, hissing in the back of her throat, and jumped when she heard her door click shut. Rapidly wheeling around, scanning her room for another intruder, her eyes focused on a single detail, a business card wedged into the crease of the door. Vaggie didn't hesitate and investigated the card before laughing. I.M.P, huh? You're working for those guys? You must be hard up or just don't give a shit anymore. But thank you. She genuinely has missed you having you around. And so have I. No, this won't do. Alastor held out his hand toward the decor of the main hall while walking with Charlie. Nifty immediately sprang to action, rapidly taking down the decor Alastor motioned toward, replacing it with more lavish and luxurious materials. Yes, perfect, my little darling. Thank you, sir. Nifty ecstatically bounced about and continued her work, sweeping the halls and tossing out much of the decorations and furniture she and Vaggie worked very hard to procure. Is this necessary? Charlie winced, watching her hotel be renovated from the ground up. Absolutely. Alastor nodded, addressing the hall with a sweep of his hand. My dear, we must maximize on the aesthetic and make this place as welcoming as possible if you dare to dream of achieving your goal. This hotel must become a beacon of hope for all those who enter. It's the only way to set them up for success and eventual fall. Ah ha ha ha, I guess. Charlie nervously chuckled. However, her smile never faltered, even when Alastor's grin somehow widened and he laughed. He was a strange fellow. Could you keep it down, speaker? I could hear you from across the street. Charlie froze. Her heart skipped a beat. She recognized that voice. She hadn't seen him in years. Oh, it's you. Alastor almost seemed disappointed, even if he didn't show it as they turned around. However, his eyes shone as he saw the stars welling within Charlie's eyes. Oh, you know this barbaric heathen? Uncle Naruto! Charlie instantly crossed the distance of the rug and wrapped Naruto in a tight embrace. How did you know where to find me? I haven't seen you in forever. I watch TV, you know? Naruto chuckled as they broke the embrace. He perked his brow before whistling. Kiddo, did you grow taller? I swear you weren't this tall the last time I saw you. Well, you know how tall Mom was. Charlie forced a laugh after bringing her mother up. However, her expression pursed, and she placed her hand on her hips. And where have you been? You haven't been answering any of my calls. Most went straight to voicemail. I thought, sorry about that, kiddo. I'll try to be better about answering if the call goes through and going through my voicemails. I don't even want to know how bad my backlog is. Naruto grinned, whipping out what looked like a brand new phone and displaying it to Charlie. It's just I can't stop breaking these damn things. Brittle as fuck. Went through 600 to 700 of these last year alone. How is that possible? Charlie blinked, flabbergasted as she counted her fingers. That means sometimes you go through at least 2 a day. Yup, Naruto laughed, flipping his phone and catching it with the tip of his fingers, attempting to pocket it. Instead, it snapped into pieces in his hand. Son of bitch! I just bought this one this morning. Charlie stared at her uncle, flummoxed when another familiar voice diverted her attention. I'm surprised you don't have a more rugged model. I think Miss Carmine would sell them at a discount for you. She already does. All her strongest models are tested by me personally? Naruto grinned as Vaggie deadpanned before palming her face. I thought you a brute. It looks like I was proven correct. Alastor nodded to himself and Naruto shrugged, not allowing the sinner to get under his skin. Sometimes I just don't know my own strength, even when I'm holding back, you know? Naruto returned and sharply glanced at Alastor, an underlying growl in his voice. Alastor only nodded with a taunting hum, turning his focus to Charlie and Vaggie. Vaggie, good morning! Charlie greeted her partner with a warm hug. Did you sleep well? Well enough, Vaggie contentedly sighed, simply raising her brow and giving Naruto a mild stare. Oh, ruin her lovely night of sleep, did we? Alastor laughed before moving toward the two lovers. As much as I hate ruining such a wonderful spectacle, alas, we are conducting an overhaul and must not dally. Much work to do. Oh shoot, Al is right, Charlie grimaced, her shoulders shrinking as she glanced at Naruto longingly. I'm sorry, are you? I'll be around. Naruto tilted his head and smiled. In fact, I might be closer than you think. Where have you been? Naruto repressed a groan. He was expected to be asked that first thing upon entering the office. However, his ears perked when it was Loona who asked, sitting at her desk reading a magazine. Taking care of family business? Naruto replied with a shrug, strolling past the desk and toward the break room to check what was in the fridge. He paused, catching a glance of a peculiar book on the desk, one he immediately recognized, and knew who it belonged to. His ass is gonna be in hot water if others find out. Naruto rolled his eyes and shook his head. Wasn't his business, regardless. He didn't care if this was a shady operation or not. What business wasn't? You have a family? Loona mildly jumped and looked shocked. Not much of one. Not here anyway, Naruto responded before muttering the last part to himself. It didn't seem like Loona heard him. She almost looked depressed. I just stopped by to say hi to my niece. She works nearby at the Hazbin Hotel. Used to be the Happy Hotel. Naruto jabbed his thumb behind him and in the general direction of the hotel. Huh, never heard of it. Loona frowned, despite the noticeable uptick in her expression before shrugging. Just so you know, he's going to be pissed at you when they get back. Oh, was there a mission? Naruto's ears perked before he grinned, lifting his left hand into the air before him. Well, shit. Better late than never. I should get going. Don't want to miss out on the fun. Guess so. Might save your ass with him. Loona shrugged, reaching for the book. Let me open the portal. Nah, don't need one. Naruto's grin widened, the very air stilling in the office as a golden hue engulfed his left-clawed hand. Sticking a single forward, he plunged his finger through the air as if it were paper. The very world began to shimmer from his touch. What? What are you? Loona stammered, unable to process what she was witnessing. I don't need a portal, for I tear open this reality to get where I want to, Naruto whispered, a hiss held in the back of his throat. And even with this power, he still wasn't able to rip open a way home. Where the fuck were you, dickbag? You left us high and dry. That job could have killed us if those pricks knew what they were doing. Naruto stopped what he was doing, and the world reverted to its natural state. He turned around to see Blitzo, Moxxie, and Millie standing behind him, having just stepped back through a portal from Earth. And Blitzo looked pissed. Thankfully, Naruto was always prepared. Procuring a fat job, Naruto slipped a sheet of paper from a portal, handing it toward Blitzo. Carmi wants a few weapons dealers murked on the other side. Sounds like she wants their services down here, if you catch my drift. You in? Huh, well. Blitzo glowered before he looked at the sheet Naruto handed him. His expression immediately shifted to bewildered excitement. Holy fuck, that's a lot of zeros. Oh yeah, I'm fucking in. Today took a turn. Naruto had not expected this. He had adjusted to the daily work cycle when there was a job, and adjusted to it. It was pretty relaxed most days. Blitzo was always making some impulsive decisions, especially with his spontaneous spending or taking an odd job, and he meant strange by the standards of hell. Where did he find these clients? And he accepted everything. Didn't matter who the target was. That was driven home when he flat out killed that kid on the day he joined I.M.P. Yet Naruto couldn't complain. When he was much younger, he would have interjected at such immorality. He fought against such actions for the longest time and tried to reason with the denizens of heaven and hell, even this universe's humanity. It was why Lucifer was drawn to him and brought him in. Naruto was different than most here, and he tried to shield him from the rest, tried to find him a way home. He almost had to laugh. Of all the people to show him kindness, it was the ruler of hell. Ironic, but he saw firsthand how hell wore on a good soul, and how his depression weighed heavily on his soul. It eroded them, left them hollow in various ways. If only they could protect Charlie from such a fate eerily similar to his own. "Okay, we've got a job." Blitzo kicked open the door to his office, startling Millie and Moxxie as they sat conversing in the break room. Loona didn't even budge as she lounged at the desk. Naruto perked his head up, pushing off the wall he was leaning on. He had been carefully listening, having heard Blitzo's phone ring earlier. If Blitzo was talking to whom he thought, this could be interesting. "Who's the target?" Naruto asked. "Not really a target this time." Blitzo sighed and shook his head. "Stolas called and asked for a favor." "Ah, explains the book." Naruto knowingly tilted his head to the side. "You don't know the half of it," Blitzo scoffed and turned to Millie and Moxxie. "So here's the skinny. We were asked to be Stolas's bodyguards. Apparently, he wants to take his daughter to Lulu Land." "Lulu Land? That place is so fun!" Millie energetically beamed, bouncing wildly in place. "Ah, yeah, whatever." Blitzo raised his brow at Millie. He followed with an eye roll. "I want everyone to..." As the door opened, Blitzo was unable to discuss the plan with his team. A young, pale sinner stepped into the office nervously, her brilliant pink hair parting from two horns that poked out from the top of her head. Is this, immediate murder professionals?" The young sinner stumbled over her words, barely able to get them out. "Brilliant deduction, genius. What did you want? We don't do freebies." Blitzo glowered at the young, measuring the young sinner. "Sir, we have done several jobs for free." Moxxie corrected his boss, much to Blitzo's agitation, before addressing the young sinner. "What's your name, little girl?" "And why are you here?" Naruto added, his stomach flipped uneasily. This was a little girl who must have just died. What could she have done not to be accepted from above? And more importantly, who did she want dead? "I'm Kay. My name is Lucy. And I... The girl tripped over her words. However, this time it was easily caught. She was using an alias. Something was amiss with this girl. "Want you to kill the kids who murdered me and my dog. Are you okay?" Luna's voice barely registered to Naruto. In their human disguises, they strolled the streets of the bustling city. The school where her murder took place was across the street. Naruto observed the jovial expressions of students filing into the school and the relaxed demeanor of the parents as they dropped their kids off. Things weren't adding up. Everyone was proceeding with their days as if a murder hadn't taken place. It was as if they were covering the incident up. "No," Naruto snarled, crumpling a newspaper into a ball and tossing it into a nearby bin. "I don't handle the murder of children well. And these people are treating her as if she weren't missing." "Yeah, I get that," Loona nodded, her gaze tracing the paper Naruto had thrown. "So why are we here instead of in there? We know who did it from what Lucy told us. There's more going on here than just a simple murder." Naruto caught several people who seemed to be teachers and staff awkwardly staring at the two of them. Acting as if he didn't notice, he motioned for Loona to follow. "We're gonna have to be careful. We've already attracted attention." Loona traced Naruto's sight and caught the people observing them as well. She repressed the urge to growl and walked in stride with him. "They're covering it up. Might have to add a few to the list." "My list is ever growing." Naruto's eyes sparkled, noticing a pair of police officers at a nearby donut shop. A wide grin crossed his lips and gauged Loona carefully. What?" Loona skittishly winced at Naruto's gaze. It was a little much. Did he like her human form that much? "I might have an idea to get free access." Naruto wildly grinned and jabbed his thumb toward the police. "Think you can distract and lure them away?" Blinking owlishly, a smirk appeared on Luna's features. She scoffed before confidently swaying her hips as she took point. "Just watch me. I'll bring them over there. Just make sure to deal with them." I don't like getting my paws dirty. You do your job, I'll do mine, Naruto acknowledged Loona, watching as she made her move. But before he slunk over to the alley she pointed to, he wavered. His eyes caught on her hips. Naruto caught himself gawking and scoffed. Slinking into the alleyway, he awaited his chance to pounce. But in the back of his mind, Loona's image flashed. Naruto grinned while shaking his head. I've got to admit, whether she's in her human disguise or not, she's got a nice ass. Are you sure this is going to work? What if they recognize us? Loona whispered, fidgeting with the creases of her stolen uniform as they stood before the school entrance. It was a little snug on her chest and didn't conform to her figure. There's always a chance it doesn't. We'll improvise when that happens. Naruto observed his surroundings, noticing the camera at the front door. And where there was one, there was always more. When? Loona kept her voice low but raised her brow as they were granted entrance through the electronic door. Don't you mean if? This place is heavily monitored. It is a matter of when, not if. Naruto had Loona trace his eyes, noting the cameras set up in the security system. It's going to be a challenge to investigate and much harder to get the little bastards alone, Loona growled. Just follow the plan, Naruto smirked, flashing his badge to those he assumed to be the principal and secretary as they greeted them in the main hall. Sorry to bother you. We're investigating the disappearance of one Kaide Nyu. Hello, officers. A balding man in a blue suit barely nodded, his beady eyes carefully observing their every movement. I am surprised to see you. I was sure we gave all the evidence we could provide. You did at the time. We received new information that brought us back. Naruto explained before his features darkened. Quite a disturbing report, I'm afraid. We've received reports that Kaide was being bullied by her peers, Loona added, unable to restrain her snarl. In our school, preposterous. Our children are little angels. The buxom lady retorted, offended by the mere notion, pushing her massive presence forward, almost as if she were trying to bump them away physically. Mrs. Merriweather, I understand your concerns. Alas, we should allow the officers to do their job. The principal, looking exhausted, shielded them from Mrs. Merriweather's belligerence. We have nothing to hide, and they realize these claims are baseless. I did not mean to offend. We are simply investigating the only lead we have to find young Miss Nyu. Naruto added his platitude to calm the woman, his gaze shifting to the other halls. And if you wouldn't mind, since there is no evidence of where she is, could I investigate the premises while my partner interviews the children? There is a real chance she is hiding in a secluded spot on the premises. Naruto could feel the scathing daggers Loona sent at him. It didn't bother him. They had a job to do. I suppose that makes sense. I will accompany you. The principal nodded and turned to Mrs. Merriweather. Please show the officer to my office and cooperate with her by bringing everyone she requests. I want to clear our school of all possible blame for Miss Nyu's disappearance. I do apologize for Mrs. Merriweather. The principal sighed, escorting Naruto through the halls. She is quite protective of our children. It's understandable. This is a tense time. Naruto feigned sincerity, observing every detail of the school, watching the children in the classrooms as they passed, all without a care in the world that one of their peers was murdered within the school last night. Naruto seethed. It didn't seem as if a person alive cared. What do you know about Kaide? Naruto stopped, pressing the man for whatever he knew. I know, as the principal, you don't know the students as well as the teachers, but every scrap of information you have could be critical. Typically, if a child isn't found in the first 48 hours, the odds aren't great, as I'm sure you're aware. The man flinched, his figure deflating. A genuine sorrow seemingly overtook him as he hung his head. I know. I'm just sorry I don't know much about Miss Nyu. She's an orphan without a foster family. She is ferried on the bus every morning. The principal sighed, glancing into one of the nearby classrooms and watching the children within. Kaide is a bit different. She wears a hat every day to hide a deformity on her head. Still, the kids poke fun at her for it. So the reports are accurate, Naruto scowled. And you allowed this to happen? Nothing I did worked. The man's gaze watered. Detention, suspension, changing her homeroom. The children picked on her because she was different, unusual, dangerous. Dangerous? Naruto raised his brow. Ms. New had a violent temper when she was pushed too far, severely beat several other children to a pulp before she could be stopped. Can't say I blame her. The principal bit his lip. Her only friend is a dog that waits for her here every day and walks home with her. It usually waits at the entrance all day. I haven't seen him today, and that bothers me. Naruto didn't say a word. He allowed the man to pause and compose himself. He had confirmed Lucy's story. Now it was time to carry out the contract. His gaze focused on the janitor's closet. A familiar whiff was in the air, coming from the closet. Lucy's scent. Naruto didn't hesitate and crossed the distance before kicking the door open. It was a relatively small room with typical janitorial equipment, including a mop bucket smeared with blood and a set of stairs that led further down, and her scent grew stronger. "What are you doing?" The principal raised his voice in alarm, chasing behind Naruto before he stopped at the door. A lump grew in his throat as he stumbled. "This can't be." "Call for backup. I'm going in." A growl emanated from Naruto's throat, sweeping down the stairs, to find a garbage bag in a familiar shape lying on the floor, while the furnace was expelling plumes of smoke. Someone was hiding evidence. Naruto caught the click of a shotgun being cocked from nearly behind him. Someone must have hidden underneath the stairs after being alerted by the door being smashed open, and they didn't hesitate to fire. The buckshot shredded through the uniform he had stolen. Wispy smoke billowed from where Naruto had stood as the force of the shot blasted away the uniform, and the janitor emerging from the shadows looked confused, cocking his shotgun again, prepping another round, scanning the room frantically. "Huh? What the hell? Are you some kind of ninja or something?" A bone-chilling laughter echoed from all around, causing the man to shiver. He then jumped and wildly fired behind him as his hand ran down the crook of his neck. "Long ago I was..." Naruto laughed as he stalked his prey through the shadows. Watching the man wildly try to load his double-barrel pump action, his eyes burned crimson as he blindly fired several shots, missing everyone. Naruto finally revealed himself, his demonic body burning in astral gold as he gripped the shotgun and ripped it out of the man's hand, knocking him down to the ground in the process. "Lucy says hello." "No, no!" the man screamed, frantically attempting to scuttle away while begging for forgiveness. I'm sorry, Mrs. Merriweather paid me. I swear, she just wanted that weirdo kid gone. So I left the doors open last night and left treats out to lure the dog in." Naruto's eyes slitted, tossing the shotgun into the furnace. So she was involved. She would get what was coming to her. But first. "Weirdo!" Naruto snarled, his body flickering heatedly, morphing into a glowing fox head bearing its fangs. Alarms flared and light flashed. The principal must have set them off to evacuate the children, fearing what would be found. Good. Everyone needed to see what kind of monsters were contained in these walls. "That weirdo was a child, you monster!" Naruto hissed, his fangs nipping at the heels of the janitor as he wildly tried to find an escape. A child without friends beside a dog that's head was bashed in by those little fucks. "I'm sorry," the man screamed, trying to scramble up the stairs. A golden tendril wrapped around his legs and tripped him, forcing him to gaze back in horror. "I am a demon, and you are more of a monster than I." Naruto's roar resonated, his maw opening wide. "Hell have mercy on you, for I will not." With a flicker of golden light, the astral fox head lunged forward, chomping onto the janitor, thrashing him side to side, blood splattering as limbs flung off, and with a flip into the air in one last chomp. The janitor's blood bathed the basement as Naruto swallowed. Fuck Satan. Children were annoying. Of course, they were going to deny they did anything, even as they made fun of Lucy for being different. Loona exhaled, repressing the urge to rip them apart. She had to wait for the signal before she could strike. "Well," Mrs. Merriweather puffed up, preening over the bossy children, "are you satisfied? My little angels would never do such horrible actions. They are perfect in every way." "I'm sure they are," Loona sarcastically responded, repressing the urge to roll her eyes. These kids were devils. They would fit right in at hell. Fulfilling the contract would be a mercy on those who had a chance to enter heaven, or at least give a chance. "Harley, Angel, could you shut the door for me?" Luna's eyes sharpened as Mrs. Merriweather spoke, meeting her arrogant gaze as she twitched, hearing the door to the administration office slam open. Yes, Mrs. Merriweather. The boy named Harley followed his vice principal's order, closing and locking the door as the alarms blared, and the principal's voice nervously announced over the intercom. This is not a drill. Students, stay in your assigned rooms. Teachers, lock the doors until further notice. Wonderful, he knows. Mrs. Merriweather clicked her tongue and rolled her eyes. I'll have to take care of that later. Loona tensed. She knew something was amiss but repressed the urge to lash out. She hid back a snarl and flatly stared at Mrs. Merriweather. What do you think you are doing? Hun, my husband is the chief of police. I know you or your friend is not on the force. Mrs. Merriweather's warm and dotting expression faded, replaced by a sinister smile. I don't know who you are or what you think you are doing, but you and your friend aren't leaving these premises alive, dearie. I knew it, Loona snarled, her eyes slitting, barely able to keep in disguise, her eyes shifting between Merriweather and the children, all drawing small pocket knives. You know what to do, sweethearts. Merriweather pedantically waved toward Loona. So that's how this is, Loona growled, watching the woman nonchalantly lean back in the principal's chair and gazing at her nails as the children descended upon her. The light began to flicker before the room darkened, leaving only the shallow light from the windows blocked by the curtains to shine. Her sclera bled red, her body shifting from her human disguise, and with a swipe of a single paw, the children screamed as blood jutted from the child's jugular. They screamed and leapt away, gathering and cowering behind Mrs. Merriweather as the wretches behold the glory of her hellhound form. A demon! Merriweather stumbled over her words, and the children, backing away, searching for an exit as she attempted to protect them. Ah, don't hurt my angels, please. Don't take this persona. It's just a contract. Kaidi sends her regards, kids. Loona descended upon them, fangs bared, her gaze intently focused on Merriweather. As for you, I'll gladly send a bitch such as you below. You'll fit right in. Merriweather's grew disproportionately to the point they should have popped from her head. She didn't hesitate to push the children out of her way, attempting to run for the door, forcing them to fight for their lives by themselves, fruitlessly swinging their petty knives at Loona. Yet the world rippled, a tear sliced through it, an astral golden hand grasping around the fat woman's skull. And where do you think you're going? You've got a first-row ticket to hell with your name on it, and I'm the conductor. Naruto's roar and the woman's body began to combust with hellish flames as she was dragged into the tear, and vanished into the void as the blood child pooled on the floor. Loona groaned, staring at the stains on her fur, checking each of the bodies to ensure there weren't any survivors. Pulling out the spellbook, a portal opened. Asshole! Left me to deal with the kids while he got all the fun. Oh, thank you so much, Lucy beamed, tightly embracing Naruto's hip. I can't even begin to repay you. Your payment is enough, Loona grunted, leaning back in her chair. She sent Naruto a nasty glare before her expression warmed as Lucy released Naruto and turned her attention to Loona. Her tail swished behind her before she rolled her eyes and brought up her magazine. But your smile is appreciated. Now get out of here. Naruto smiled. There was just something about the girl that was so precious, almost as if she still had her innocence. You're right, I have something to do. Lucy's expression darkened and her teeth gnarled. 4 pink hand-shaped tendrils emerged from her back and began to buzz behind her frenetically. When I find them... Ah! Lucy's scream jolted Loona from her seat, forcing her onto all fours. All 4 of her tendrils flopped to the floor, wildly spasming and thrashing as they disintegrated from intense heat. Her eyes focused on Naruto, who loomed menacingly before a panicked Lucy. What are you doing? Loona cried, stunned, unsure how to act. Sure, their job with her was done. They didn't have a reason to serve her any further. But this was a bit much. But as Lucy cowered before Naruto, however, he simply knelt before her and sternly met her gaze. Your debt with them has been paid. Your debt toward me has just begun. Come, I have a place to show you. Uncle Naruto? Charlie stood stunned at the counter, having conversed with Vaggie and some sort of cat demon who seemed to be running the front desk. Damn, this place looks nice. Keeping the radio demon here may have its perks after all. Naruto whistled, glancing around the hellish hotel, impressed. With a chuckle in his throat, he approached Charlie. I've got a favor to ask of you. I heard that and will accept that compliment as a formal apology. Alastor's voice resonated as if it were on an intercom. Naruto shrugged his shoulders. He would accept Alastor's place here. But if he stepped a foot out of line... A favor? Charlie ecstatically jumped at the chance. You never ask for anything. I will help to the best of my ability. Naruto chuckled, tilting his head to a nervous Lucy beside him, clutching his hand. You see, I ran into a job, and well, I need someone to look after this girl. Really? Vaggie stepped beside Charlie, her arms crossed. She glanced toward Lucy, scrutinizing the young sinner before exhaling. Well, she doesn't look too bad. She really isn't. Naruto shook his head, pushing Lucy forward to meet Charlie. She can be violent, and she did hire a hit on those who killed her. But I think she can be saved. She's just a lonely girl wanting a friend that she was always denied. A friend? Charlie looked surprised before turning her gaze toward a hesitant Lucy, kneeling before her and offering her hand to ease the tension. Well, I'm sure with some work, we can help you with that. Welcome. Ahem! Alastor suddenly appeared and interjected, slipping between and pushing Charlie and Vaggie aside, standing directly before Lucy. With his smile ever present, he extended his hand toward Lucy. As the host, we welcome you and hope you enjoy your stay at the wonderful Hazbin Hotel. Long, long ago in another, something like this would have never happened. He was more careful. He was always prepared. He had a reason to be ready, a family to protect. Now, he allowed someone like Blitzo to invade his personal space while he slept without receiving a kunai to the face. He let almost anyone into his bubble without care. It wasn't like anyone could threaten him the way he was now. A hell fox, a sinner, a being from another world. You know this place is a fucking dump? Blitzo's voice rang through his ears. The imp perched on top of Naruto so they could look eye to eye as the moment Naruto's eyes opened. You would think, as the embodiment of death, you could afford to live. Anywhere better than this shithole on the outskirts of Cannibal Town? It's cheap. Locals don't mess with me. They know what I'm about. Only the out-of-towners try anything stupid like trespassing on my premises. Naruto rolled his eyes, glaring at Blitzo. You mind? A little, Blitzo smugly responded, hesitating momentarily before hopping down. You got a nice piece down there. Betcha you've quelled a few conflicts with that thing. Ah, gross, Loona growled in disgust. I don't need to hear about that sort of thing first thing in the morning. Naruto's attention was drawn to a flushed Loona. It worsened as he sat up, slid off his sheets, and was exposed before everyone. She was doing everything she could to keep her gaze from shifting toward him, even to the point she was focusing on his worn-down and collapsing makeshift kitchen. Ugh, this place makes the office look pleasant. I take offense to that. You don't even want to know the amount of favors I had to pay back and the strings I pulled to get I.M.P up and running. Blitzo waved Loona off and glared as Naruto slipped into his clothes. However, he scowled, noting Loona's reaction. And I thought I told you to wait in the van. Yeah, wait in the van in the middle of Cannibal Town, a place none of us fit into. Loona rolled her eyes, continuing to wander and observe the broken-down apartment, her eyes drawn to the one thing in the house that was kept in pristine condition. Why is this coffee cup in such better condition than everything here? Because it means something. Naruto snatched the cup from Loona's side as the coffee brewed. Staring at her and then Blitzo, he tapped his foot several times in annoyance. Why are you here? No, better yet, how did you know where I live? Hey, I poked around, asked a few questions. I heard you've been visiting that hotel several times. That fallen angel seemed to know where you lived. Blitzo nonchalantly responded, his gaze shifting toward Naruto. And for the briefest moment, there was a sense of, nah, that couldn't be. Wait, why did Vaggie know where he lived? And I have to know where my employees live. It's mandated that we carpool to work together. We got the one space, and I'm not paying for another, even with the uptick in cash. Blitzo snapped his fingers and glowered at Naruto. Now hurry your ass. This place is on the other side of the city, and I still have to pick up Mila and Moxxie on the way." Naruto frowned. Blitzo knew Naruto didn't drive to work, didn't know how to drive, nor cared to learn. Too slow. Yeah, Naruto yawned, aloofly waving Blitzo's concerns off as he poured a cup of coffee. With a sip, he glanced at the irritated Blitzo as he and Loona led the way out. Naruto simply nodded to himself, shrugged his shoulders, and followed. Today was gonna be an enjoyable day. He hoped. "Motherfucker!" Blitzo's agitated voice rang through the car. He said something else as he left the car, but Naruto couldn't hear a word he said. He barely noticed Loona skipping in her seat, startled at the rude awakening. The ringing in his ears caused him to curl his ears as he shivered and growled, glaring at the vehicle surrounding him. "Hate these damn death traps." "You'll get used to it, hun," Millie beamed, chipper as always. "Hardly." Loona rolled her half-lidded eyes, yawning and slumping further in her seat, settling back into a comfortable position. "Wake me when it's—" Loona stopped mid-statement. Her expression perked up as she alertly sat in her seat, staring at where Blitzo had walked. Someone else had decided to occupy their only parking space. Naruto repressed an exasperated sigh. Wonderful. If there was something that could set Blitzo off. However, his attention shifted back to Loona as she scurried to the other side of the van, nervously peeking her gaze slightly above the window. Naruto pursed his muzzled lips and tilted his head, observing the curious response from the broody hellhound. Following her twitchy gaze, Naruto bit back a gauze. One of the two individuals Blitzo was confronting was a massively well-built hellhound, perched defensively next to a tall succubus. Her bodyguard, most likely. Naruto temporarily frowned and scrunched his brow. He felt he should have recognized him. He seemed familiar. With a shrug of his shoulders, Naruto deftly leapt over Loona and out of the van's window. Without missing a beat, he landed into a straight march toward the group with intent. He had a job to do. If this succubus, this pop star had hired muscle, well, there wasn't a soul stronger than him. In this hellscape of a universe. "Yo, move ya scrap heap," Naruto barked, fangs bared, as he gnarled them before stopping beside Blitzo. With a deep breath, he spoke in a frighteningly calm manner. "Look, I'm feeling generous today. I'm gonna give you to the count of 3 to hop in and find your own damn parking spot, or I'm gonna melt this junk into a puddle so we can park over it." Interestingly enough, when the large hellhound laid eyes on him, he flinched at what Naruto said. Did he know this guy? He felt like he really should. "Who the fuck do you think you are?" Verosika haughtily huffed as she snapped her fingers. "Do you even know who I—" "Verosika Mayday, a generationally famous pop star in both the living world and hell. I am well aware of who you are, and whom you may have done and had a falling out with before you caught your big break." Naruto nonchalantly responded before holding up his hand and lifting a single finger. "1. How the hell do you know that?" Blitzo's attention jerked toward Naruto. Naruto's simple, annoyed stare conveyed his answer. "Ah, that makes sense. It's your specialty." Blitzo sheepishly laughed off before turning a nasty glare toward Verosika. "Might want to hurry up and move your fancy car out of my space. He's done this before." 2. Naruto extended a second finger. His left hand twitched, and a fiery sphere burned in his palm, ready to pull the trigger. Demons weren't responsible, and from the look on Verosika's face, she would be no different. 3. Boss, give me the keys." The hellhound outstretched his palm, demanding the car keys. "I'll move it. He won't hesitate." "What?" Verosika looked visibly stunned at her hellhound's response before looking indignant. "This is the kind of situation I pay you for. Do your job, Vortex." "I am." Vortex lowly growled and stared at his boss. "I'm protecting you from yourself." Verosika visibly flinched, and a horrified expression crossed her features. But she did as Vortex asked and handed him the keys. Vortex simply strode past her to safely move the expensive car. "Do I know you?" Naruto verbally confronted Vortex, his brow furrowed as the hellhound opened the car door. "I'd be surprised if you did. You might have heard my name once or twice." Vortex shook his head as he slid into the vehicle. "But I know all about you from B, Lightbringer." Naruto froze in place. That was not a name he had heard in a long time. Not since. His hope waned and evaporated. Naruto felt a chill as Vortex pulled the car out of the space. He didn't even notice Blitzo's laughter and mockery of Verosika, or when Loona parked the van and everyone went in. All he noticed was the world drained of colors and a shade of gray engulfed everything. "Why are you still out here?" A bark caught Naruto's attention, and he stared into Luna's unique eyes. Are you?" "Blitzo was wondering where you went. We've got a job." "Oh, be right there." Naruto inhaled deeply before nodding and walking past Loona, who stared awkwardly at him. It didn't matter if the world was filled with blobs or blots of shadowy light. He pushed it aside. None of that mattered. He had a job to do, something to focus on. Push through this haze. Perhaps, just possibly. There would be a light beyond if he kept fighting. It was all the hope he had left in him. This job was tedious. A murder spree in the middle of spring break should have been fun. A time to kick back and just go ham. Vent all his frustration. Maybe he was lucky and he drew heaven's ire again. Have them send down Adam to get his teeth kicked in again. Or even better, Archangel Michael. Instead, this was a fucking pissing contest between Blitzo and Verosika. That sucked all the energy and fun of having all these contracts right out of him. Naruto couldn't honestly find the strength to care. Somehow he knew I.M.P would bullshit their way into victory. He'd just let them handle this until something required his attention. Like a giant mutant fish attacking the shore. Wiping the exploded fish guts from his human form, his true form. Naruto rolled his eyes. How the hell did that even happen? What did you fuck-ups do? "Oh, so now he speaks? I was worried you had become a mute," Blitzo snarkily replied, his eyebrow raised as Millie excitedly bounced out of the corpse of the mutant fish and into Moxxie's arms. "Blah! If you had sunk any further into the depths, I was about to slap some sense into you. You're better off on your own and not having to deal with those responsibilities." "Relationships aren't bad, sir. You simply had a lousy track record," Moxxie commented after giving Millie a quick smooch. "They can be rewarding if you put in the effort," Millie chirped, gently tapping Naruto on his wrist, unable to reach his shoulder to place a hand on. "Don't worry, hun. There is always someone for you." "The hell are you three blabbering about?" Naruto raised his brow and pulled his arm back. "B and I were partners and occasional lovers, nothing more. B being in a healthy relationship is great. I'm happy for her." "Then what the fuck has all the mooping all day been about? You've been brooding more than Loona, and she's goth or emo, depending on the day," Blitzo loudly snapped. "Fuck you!" Loona strolled to the group, flipping Blitzo off while rolling her eyes momentarily before focusing on Naruto with the same look she had been giving him all day, a mixture of odd confusion and concern. "Oh, I think I know." Moxxie had a sudden epiphany. "We've been focused on the wrong thing. It's because of..." "Enough! Let's get out of here before anyone notices your dumb asses. How you guys haven't been caught this entire time without disguises is beyond me," Naruto snarled, cutting Moxxie off as he rippled a tear through the world. "We're just that good," Blitzo cockily responded, hopping through the tear first. Naruto grunted and gestured for the others to follow suit, which they thankfully did. This was not a subject he wanted to discuss. He still didn't really know them, or want to know them. He didn't want to open ever again. Why can't I ever get a moment to myself? Naruto weakly sighed, pondering his question aloud. It had to be Blitzo. The imp was becoming incredibly brazen in invading his privacy. This would be twice in a single day. He could deal with the daily invasions. He was used to them. But tonight, he really didn't want to deal with anyone. He had just lain down and was ready to call it a night. Closed his eyes and was prepared to force himself to sleep before he felt a warm presence perch on top of him, much closer than this morning. Now that he thought about it, he didn't believe Blitzo would want to virtually be riding him, given his odd relationship with, "Now that's rude." A surprisingly feminine voice rang out. "B?" Naruto rapidly sat up to find Beelzebub's face uncomfortably close to his as she straddled him. "Down, boy," Beelzebub chastised Naruto, poking him in the nose, and laughed. "As much as I long to remember the nights we had together, I'm seeing someone new, as I've told you before." but I can't help but reminisce about the times this was inside of me. Says the one on top of me, vocalizing her desire to fondle my dick, Naruto growled. Fair enough, I'll stop. Beelzebub nodded, sliding down and off Naruto and sitting down on the edge of the bed. She glowered as she glanced around the place. I was told this place was awful, but that hardly describes how decrepit this place is. And who told you that? Naruto growled before shaking his head. Better yet, why are you here? Darling, how would I not hear about my boyfriend finally having the chance to meet you in person? Beelzebub laughed temporarily before wilting under his gaze. Not buying that, huh? Let's say a little rubber birdie might have brought your living conditions to my attention. Had to come see for myself. Beelzebub snorted as if it was evident before she mischievously smirked. Lucy, Naruto bitterly growled. The next time they were in a room together. Seems like you have made some new friends at least. Good ones. Beelzebub's smirk faded as she gazed back at Naruto. They're just co-workers, nothing more. Naruto grunted, shaking his head. Doesn't sound like it to me. What kind of co-worker asked a person they barely know for a favor from one of the 7 deadly sins? B scoffed and glared at Naruto. Blitzo asked for a favor? To check on me? Naruto raised his eyebrow before letting rip a snarky laugh. The bastard shows up randomly and in the weirdest places to observe what I'm doing. No, darling, that imp is too proud to do anything of the sort. B snorted, nodding in agreement. She revealed a fanged smirk. Ah, it's so sweet to see that little wolf blush when she expressed concern about you. Looks like you're still the light of someone's world despite how depressingly you present yourself now. Naruto snarled and Beelzebub exhaled, hanging your head. Still don't like being reminded of your past, of what you used to be for everyone here. I failed, B, Naruto coldly retorted at first. However, his features slowly slumped and he expressed a rare vulnerability. I couldn't save this world. It's too... I know. Beelzebub gingerly flicked a finger against Naruto's cheek, gently caressing him. It is an impossible task, but a worthy cause. There are still others fighting that same fight. B smiled, lifting his gaze into hers, before violently shoving him off the bed. And the first step is kicking your ass out of this dump. This place is part of the problem. What the fuck? Naruto roared, defiantly glaring back at Beelzebub as he stood back up. It's cheap, out of the way, and no longer yours. Beelzebub revealed a rolled document before showing it to Naruto. And as owner of this establishment, I'm kicking you out. Naruto blinked several times, staring at the official document. It was real, he was sure of that. He had half a mind to incinerate it, but he knew she was too smart for that, and this was only the backup. You're joking, Naruto deadpanned. I am not. Beelzebub huffed, crossing her arms before reaching into her bosom and pulling out a key. This, however, is your new room key to your new place. Scrunching his features in disbelief, Naruto glanced between the key and Beelzebub several times before glowering. Just what are you plotting? I'm not leaving. Oh, yes, you are. Beelzebub snapped her fingers and grinned. I brought someone to assist with escorting you to your new place, so be a darling and don't struggle too much. You better not struggle at all. Naruto froze as a familiar voice resonated from behind his door. And on the other side, as it opened, a fallen angel was revealed, arms crossed and glaring, before she rolled her eyes at his state of undress. Should have known. You have no idea how nervous Charlie has been all night, so let's get going. Vaggie placed her hand on her hip. Let's not keep her waiting any longer.